Shalawam, sister, Shalawam. Kohalo Yahweh Ba'Shem HaMashiach Ramalak Yahushai. All praises to the Most High. Salaki, I've been missing for the past 3 to 4 weeks. I've just been taking time. I haven't been feeling too good. My pregnancy, at first I was feeling all fine, but then it's like I just got hit and slapped with pretty much morning sickness and all of that. But all praises to the Most High. I'm feeling so much better through the spirit. So, and physically. So I'm here to do a video. I've been meditating on this for about 2 weeks now. I was like, I need to do a video for sisters. It's probably been longer than 2 weeks, but I was like, I need to do a video for single sisters because I haven't done that. Well, I have, but that was honestly probably like 2 years ago. You could scroll down and see a video that I did for single sisters, but it wasn't, it wasn't in depth like this video is going to be, Lord willing, today. And this video isn't also, it's not just for single sisters, it's also for married women as well, because you're going to have sisters come to you and ask you for counsel on, marriage and courting, and you want to have these precepts, the knowledge, wisdom, and understanding to prove all things. Go in the scriptures. Hey, look, sis, according to, Sirach, according to Proverbs, according to this, that, and the third, this is how you should move while you're courting or while you're married. So I want to bring out some precepts for sisters and just give my thoughts, opinions, according to the scriptures about how sisters should move in this truth while courting. Okay? First and foremost, I want to, Salaki. No, you can just stay right there. First and foremost, let all things be done. First and foremost, let all things be done decently and in order. You shouldn't just rush and meet a brother, or you feel like the brother live in Texas, you live in Ohio, and he say, come on out, y'all been talking on the phone, he say, come on out, and y'all lay down with each other right there. That's not how it should be. You have to prove people. You can't be hasty to credit a friend. All right, like the scripture says, that's Sirach 6 and 7. If thou wouldest get a friend, prove him first, and don't be hasty to credit them. For some man is a friend for his own occasion. So some man might want to be your friend just to lay down with you. He want to lay down with you. And I'm not saying all brothers are like this, but you will have spirits like that in the truth. You will have brothers in the truth that'll be like, oh, I heard I heard Hebrew Israelite women are submissive to their husbands. They want to get married. And they'll listen to everything, I say. So, you'll have a lot of spirits out there, a lot of demons out there that'll try to pretty much ruin your life, try to sift you out the truth. So you don't want to just be so quick and hasty to lay down with somebody because you don't know them. You have to prove them. And a good example of proving somebody is, let me get the spirit, well, let me finish it. For some is a friend for his own occasion and will not buy in a day of trouble. So let's say, for instance, as a sister, you moved out, or you was courting a brother that live in a different state. You go out there, you lay down with him, now y'all are married. And this is for people that have the understanding that sex is more than just a piece of paper. Sex is more than just a piece of paper. Because you have to understand, when in the wilderness or when all hell breaks loose, at any moment, if you lay down with a brother, you might not have a piece of paper and a pen. You might not have a piece of paper and a pen. So you got to really think about spiritually, how does the Most High look at the covenant between man and woman? Just like how the Most High sprinkled that blood upon us when we was on Mount Sinai? When we was on Mount Sinai, when that woman loses her virginity, that's the covenant that she has with her husband. Even if you are no longer a virgin in this truth, even if you're not a virgin, Salakia, even if you're not a virgin, you're a new woman in this truth. So if you lay down with a man, that's your husband. It only makes sense. You can't just be laying down with from men to men to men to men. Well, we don't have paper, so that's not my husband. So what does that look like to the Most High? That looks like whoredom. You jumping around from man to man to man to man. It's deeper than just a sheet of paper. What if that sheet of paper burned? What if America's system crashed? It's more than just a sheet of paper. That's a physical covenant that you and the man make together when y'all lie down with each other. It's deeper than just a piece of paper. Now, is it smart to get married and have a piece of paper? It's up to you. It's whatever you want to do. The scriptures, the scriptures show examples of people getting married, having a piece of paper. Then the scriptures also show examples where sisters laid down with brothers and they was married with him. And he became her, and she became his wife. He went unto her and she became his wife. So you got to be spiritual about it. You can't just say just because we don't have a piece of paper doesn't mean we're not married. So I'm going to move on to the next guy. So what, you just going to lay down with everybody because you don't have a piece of paper? But you going to defile your body and lay down with everybody? That don't make no sense. You got to be spiritual about situations. All right? Let me get back to what I was talking about. Okay, so let's say, for example, a brother laid down, you in Ohio, the brother in Texas, you move down to, the brother in Ohio, the brother in California, you live in Ohio. You go out to California, whatever state I just said, I forgot. You go out to that state and you lay down with the brother and then you tell him, you know what? I'm about to lose my house for some reason, my job, they're letting people go. I'm pregnant. Since I've been down there with you, I'm pregnant. That brother could be like, well, that don't got nothing to do with me. Because you ain't proven. Because you was hasty to credit him. And a lot of brothers won't abide with you in the day of trouble. So you really got to take your time and prove people. Now you're going to be stuck in an unfortunate situation because you was hasty to credit somebody. You was hasty to credit this brother and say, this is a good brother right here. No, you got to take your time. You have to have patience, right? And also I want to bring out, Amos 3:3. Can two walk together unless they be agreed? Now you can't, that's a question. You can't rush and everything matches up. You're like, oh, well, he likes the color green. I like the color green. His favorite precept or his favorite book in the Bible is Sirach, and my favorite book in the Bible is Sirach. But his new moon is a different day to mine. He believes that Esau is the Arabs. His doctrine is completely different. How can y'all, and you can't just ignore it and be with that brother? Because how can y'all walk together as a union if y'all not even agreed upon doctrine? So if y'all have different doctrines, then separate from the brother. The Most High will bless you with somebody that has the same knowledge and wisdom and understanding as you. Because I can tell you right now, if you get with a brother and y'all have different doctrines, it's not going to be easy. It's not going to be easy at all. You're going to be catching hell left and right. He could be trying to tell you to sit down and read the book of Enoch. You don't believe in that. Now you vexed. Now y'all arguing. Now it's just spirits running to and fro in the house. Because y'all were hasty to lay down with each other, to credit each other, and didn't consider the fact that y'all have two different doctrines. All right, so that's something to take into account. Doctrines. Do y'all have the same doctrines? Okay. And I want to go into Ecclesiastes 11:29. And this is for sisters that have their own. So, and I'll never forget when I was in the world, I don't know how old I was, but I'll never forget. My father told me that. He was like, look, it's some men out here that will lay down with you, that will try to get with you if you have your own. If you have your own apartment, if you have your own house, it will be men that will try to do that to you. And I will never forget him saying that. And there's brothers like that even in this truth. People, brothers, sisters not perfect, and brothers aren't perfect. Unfortunately in Babylon, we live in a society where Eve, we kind of doing better than the brothers. And some, that's just how they got it. That's how Esau got it set up to whereas Eve is graduating at a higher rate. Eve, we're not, the brothers locked up more than us. We got the brothers in the penitentiary. We got brothers, just not living their life right. Just saying Jake in general, but Esau, if you understand what I'm saying is that Jake got it the men got it worse than us in this captivity. So a lot of the times Eve will have a little bit of her own before that brother. Now that's not all the time, but that's some instances. That's just how it is in this captivity. That's how they set it up. So you'll have sisters that'll have her own. She'll have her own apartment. She'll have her own car. She'll have her own job, her degree, etc. And you'll have a brother that will literally try to move in with that sister and will try to take over your house or try to get with you just because he need a place to stay. And you got to take that into consideration. Do this brother have a house? Do this brother, not everybody is going to have it easy. Now I want to say not all brothers, you could get with a good brother. He might not have it all together, but you can wait for him to get it together. That's called proving a friend. You can wait to see, is this brother going to be a hard worker? Because if we have children, is he going to be able to provide? We're going to get into that. Right, yeah. So, that's Ecclesiastes 11:29. Bring not every man into thy house, for a deceitful man have many trains. So that man could come into your house. He could be like, oh, for example, I know his sister, and I wish she would have sent me the screenshots. But when she had first gotten to the truth, a brother messaged her from a camp. He was like, how much is your rent? Where do you work? What are you in school for? Are you comfortable? He said, so you should be able to take over. He said, so you should be able. He said, so I should be. He said, I'm not going to work. You should be able to take over the bills then. How much is this bill? How much is that bill? Okay, so he pretty much was trying to get to know the sister's financial situation so he could move in with the sister, and told the sister that he was no longer going to work so he can teach. Now, if brothers say that, brothers better be on the highways and byways Monday through Saturday. And I don't see nobody doing that. I haven't seen it. I haven't seen it yet. All right, brothers go out to teach on a Sabbath day, Friday sundown, Saturday sundown. Some brothers might go out on Sunday sometimes. It depends. All right. So if a brother try to say, look, I need you to hold me down while I go out and teach, that brother got to be teaching every single day. You can't get off of work and the brother is sitting at home on the couch. You're going to be mad. And that's Sirach. Let me get the scripture. So, like, let me get the scripture right quick. I'm kind of mad. I didn't have it written down. I don't have my apocrypha with me, so I gotta use my phone. It's Ecclesiastes 25:22. A woman, if she maintain her husband, is full of anger, impudence, and much reproach. So if you maintaining your husband, it's not going to be a nice household. Everything is going to be out of order. You're going to be full of reproach and impudence. You're going to be you're going to be bitter. You're going to be holding a grudge against your husband. It's not a happy life to live. All right? So you want to make sure that the brother that you courting has something. All right? That this brother has a job. That this brother has a vehicle. All right, let's say he don't have a vehicle, but he's working to get a vehicle. And you see that he's working to get a vehicle. Why? Because you've been proving him for 9 months. When you met him in January, he said, you know what? I don't have a car, but I'm working to get one. He say that in January. By April or June, the brother got a car. Whoop, look, you proving this brother. All right, he said he's being a man of his word. This brother is a hard worker. Prove people, get to know them, even if they don't. Even pretty much what I'm saying is that even if a brother is at a low estate, that doesn't mean you should be like, well, I'm not going to talk to him. Prove the brother. See if that brother grow. See if you can not say, oh, you know how they be saying like women gotta you know how they be saying women gotta I'm not going to baby a man and watch a man grow. But no, when you in the truth, you could that's a part of being a helpmate. Even when a brother is at a high estate and you meet him, he could have a house, a car, business, etc. He could lose that all, and you still gonna have to be there. So pretty much what I'm saying is that you gotta prove a brother. Prove him. Just because he say, oh yeah, I'm about to get a car. Oh yeah, I'm about to get an apartment. You know, I'm living with my auntie right now, but I'm about to get an apartment soon. And y'all been together. Y'all been proving each other for a year, and he still hasn't gotten none. You might want to move on, because the brother obviously, not unless it's different situations, but the brother obviously isn't a man of his word. And he like, can I move in with you? You got to be like, wait a minute. You can't just say yes. Yeah, come on in. No, because a deceitful man has many trains, and the scriptures tell you, don't let every man into your house. All right? Now let's continue. That's Matthew 7:20, whereby their fruits you shall know them. So like I was just saying before, by a man's fruits you should know him. But if a man is a hard worker, if a man is a provider, you should know this man. How long you been working? Oh, you been working at the same company for 6 years. You had the same business for 7 years. Oh wow, the brother's persistent. Can this brother leave an inheritance to his children? Is this brother going to be able to provide for you if he wants you to be a stay-at-home wife and raise the children? All right. So, and then also when you proving a man with children, you might prove a man he has children. Sometimes that happens. Some sisters, if a man has children, they may say, I don't want to deal with it. I kind of want to be the first, start my own family. But in some situations, brothers were already married before they got into the truth. I mean, they were already laid down with the woman, repented, whatever, came into the truth. Now he has children with another woman. Are you going to be willing to accept those children? That's something that you have to think about. Are you ready to be willing to be a mother? Are you ready to be willing to show sisterly love to those children's mothers? And look, I done heard some crazy stuff in this truth. You got to say, you can't say, oh, those his kids. No, those are your kids too. That's something that you have to accept. Those are your children too. Those aren't just his kids. Those are your children too. You're gaining children. All right. And when you're proving a man with children, I want to bring out 1 Timothy 3:4. One that ruleth well his own house, having his children in subjection with all gravity. So if you proving or courting a brother and he has children, you want to see, is his children keeping the commandments? Does his children pray before they eat? Do they show that they in the truth? Does this brother, look like he teaching them, his children? Is his children unruly? Are they doing TikToks all the time? Are they listening to nigga music all the time? Or are these children literally, getting trained up in the word of Yahweh Shem Yahushai? That's something that you're going to have to think about. All right? It's something that you should see. And then I want to go down. 1 Timothy 3:5. For if a man knoweth not how to rule his own house, how shall he take care of the church of God? So if a man don't even know how to rule his own house, and you a single sister, how he going to take care of the word of God? How he going to be out teaching on the street corners? How he going to teach you? He don't even know how to take care of his own house that he got. How he going to add you into the fold? That don't make no sense. Yeah. So like you got to think about stuff like that. All right. And I want to bring out, I wrote it down, but I can't even read it. So my handwriting. I want to bring this out. I want to bring out Sirach 40:20. So I keep Sirach 40:29. All right, and this goes actually back into this goes back into a man that's staying with let's go Sirach. Let me do Sirach 29 and 22. All right, and this goes back into a brother that's staying with, somebody, a family member or another brother or etc. All right, Ecclesiasticus 29 and 22. Better is the life of a poor man in a mean cottage than a delicate fare in another man's house. So it's better for that man to have, it's pretty much better to have your own, that man that you're courting to have his own than to be in another man's house. All right, everything was written aforetime for our learning. Through these precepts, we get understanding of the different types of people that you want in your life. All right. Do you really want to be married to a man that's living in somebody else's house? Don't you kind of want to live with your husband? Don't you want to have a family with your husband? This is something that you have to think about when you're courting people. All right. And when you're courting, you have to ask yourself. I'm gonna get there in a minute. All right. Let's do Sirach 40 and 29. All right, the life of him that dependeth on another man's table is not counted to be, oh, Salakia, let me start over here. The life of him that dependeth on another man's table is not to be counted for a life, for he polluteth himself with other men's meat. But a wise man will be nurtured. A wise man well nurtured will be aware thereof. So look, you don't want to be a man that's dependent on another man's table. You don't want to, I mean, so like you don't want to be a woman that's with a man that's dependent on another man's table, because then now you doing the same thing. So say you move in with a brother, or you lay down with a brother and he living with his auntie or his mother or his sister. He dependent on another man's table, and so are you. Do you as a woman want to be in that situation? Because what did the scriptures just say? Let's read this again. The life of him that dependeth on another man's table is not to be counted for a life, for he polluteth himself with another man's meat. You want a husband that's going to be able to take care of you. You want a husband that's going to be able to provide for you. All right? It's just that simple. And you should not be courting a man, like I said, unless you're proving him. You should not be courting a man if he don't have his stuff together. Unless you're going to stick there and, like I said, prove him and see if he grows through the Spirit. See if he grows to get himself together. All right? You can end up in a terrible situation like that. Because say, for instance, what if you lay down with a man, he live in another man's house? What if that person, house he live in, lose their house? Now you got a baby. Where you and your baby and your family going to go to? You got to think about these things. You got to use wisdom. All right? Moving on. And this goes into being an infidel. 1 Timothy 5:8. But if a man provide not for his own, especially of those of his own household, he hath denied the faith and is worse than an infidel. So if a brother can't provide for his own, it's like he denied the faith and he's worse than an unbeliever. That's what the scripture says. That's why it's important to be with a man that can provide for his own. You don't want to sit down as a grown woman and be like, dang, my husband is almost likened to an unbeliever because he can't provide for his own family. Like I said, sometimes you might fall in hard situations while you're married. Now everything is going to be perfect. Like I said, your husband can have a job. One minute he could lose a job. You might fall in hard times. But that man is still a provider. He's still going to find work, look for a job, be able to provide, rent, mortgage, or whatever. But you don't want to be with a man that don't have nothing. It just doesn't add up. And you also don't want to be that sister that can't bring nothing to the table either. Because a lot of sisters think that, oh, I don't need to do nothing. I'm going to just, take care of the house. No, it's a lot of stuff that you need to bring to the table too. All right? But I'm going to get there. And I want to bring out Sirach. And also, I want to bring this out. I seen the video. I seen something in the world. This woman laid down with a man, knowing that the man has a baby mother. Listen. Look, let me just tell you how ridiculous it sounds. So a woman lays down with a man that's married. All right? He's married, but he gets another woman. He gets other women pregnant. Don't take care of the woman. The woman blasts the man. It's not in the truth. They're not in the truth. The woman blasts the man, say, you don't even take care of your child that you have. But the other one, then he moves on to another woman while he's still married. So he moves on with another woman. He lays down with another woman. So now he got 3 wives. They in the world, they don't know. But he got 3 wives. The third wife is like, well, why you not taking care of the kids? Why you not claiming your kids? Well, if you would have saw that he not taking care of the other kid, then what makes you think he gonna take care of your kids? And that goes for sisters in the truth. If a brother not taking care of the kids that he already got, what makes you think that you any better? What makes you think that he gonna take care of your kids? The kids that y'all have together. No, you don't want to be with a brother that's like, oh yeah, I got a son, I got a daughter, but the mother, she won't let me see them like that. But I see them when I can. And, she, I don't really do nothing for them, but, cause I can't, cause she won't let me see them. So the brother not taking care of his kids. He not sending them. The whole time you proving him, he don't talk about them. He don't bring them up. He don't send them no money. He not teaching them the scriptures. He don't try to have a relationship with them, but he trying to be with you. You ask yourself, what type of man is this? What type of man that don't take care of his own kids, but want to try to lay down with me? He got his priorities all wrong. You got to think about that. When a man got kids, you see how that man treats his kids. See how that man treats his mother. See how that man treats his father. Does that man honor his mother and his father? Let's say his mother and father not even in the truth. Because 9 times out of 10, that's the situation for a lot of us. How does this man treat his elders? How does he treat the people in his life, his children? Don't expect anything from a man if he can't even take care of his own kids. If he can't even be respectful to his own mother. You hear his mother in the background, he be like, all right, man, whatever, I'll talk to you later. Because you stupid and you ignorant. You don't even want to keep the commandments. Click. You don't want to be with somebody that's... It's like you. Go ahead and get one. You don't want to be with a man that don't know how to talk to people. That don't know how to treat his own family. Because how he going to treat you? The same way. The same way. All right? And when it comes to courting and marriage, yes, don't be in the video. Yeah, you can get one too. Go get one. Also, when you're doing marriage counsel, when you're trying to court, you should have a counselor. If you truly care about marriage and if you understand what marriage is a union between... No, he doesn't need one, honey. Go put one back. He's asleep. No, put it back in the freezer. Marriage isn't a union.
Mommy, when he wakes up, he can have one.
Yes, go put it in the freezer. Marriage, Salaki, y'all, but marriage is a union. All right? That's a contract between you, your husband, and Yahweh Shem Yahushai. All right? Marriage is very important. You're saying as a woman, I'm going to be submissive to this man. I'm going to be his helpmate. And I'm going to be his ride or die. That husband is the same way. Not he's going to be submissive to you, but I'm going to be a provider for this woman. I'm going to take care of this woman. I'm going to love this woman. I'm going to honor and respect her the same way you should honor and respect your husband. All right? You're building a nation. You're literally raising up Yahweh Shem Yahushai's children. If y'all have children, if y'all lay down together as in a marriage, the ultimate goal in a marriage is to be fruitful and multiply. So now you have to raise children. This is very important. Courting in marriage is not a game. You're building a nation of Israel. When it comes to the nation of Israel, you're building that up so we can get out of this captivity. You're building your children up to serve Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, to die for Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. It's not a game. Marriage shouldn't be, courting some, oh, he look good, he real cute, I'm going to just talk to him. No, it's not. It's not even all about looks. Just like the scripture says, stumble not at a woman for her beauty. As a woman, you shouldn't stumble at a man for his beauty. There's some handsome brothers out there, but hey, favor is deceitful and beauty is vain. A brother, that favor could be deceitful and beauty is vain. Just because you're a man could be beautiful, he could be a nasty person. He could be a damn demon. But you want to court him all because he's a beautiful man. Our kids going to be cute together. What? He's not going to take care of them. I'm not saying that's the case all the time, but you can't go off of looks. You got to go off of people's character. All right? Let me finish. I was pretty much saying that marriage is important. That's how marriage is important, because we rebuilding the nation of Israel. We trying to get rid of that lower state that we was in, where our fathers left, where the mothers left. You saw people cheating. Growing up, I saw a whole bunch of crazy stuff. But we trying to fix that. We're trying to, in a marriage, we're trying to pretty much go back to the days of old. Say we're not going to be like our parents. We're not going to divorce. We're going to stay together. We're going to thug it out. And we're going to raise our children up righteously so that they can serve Yahweh Shem Yahushua, so we can get out of this captivity. All right? So when you courting somebody, it's important to have counsel. All right, it's important to have counsel, and that's Iraq 3:37-16. Let reason go before every enterprise, all right, and counsel before every action. So enterprise, that's an endeavor. That's important. That's like a business move. You making a business move when you get married. All right. When I say a business move, meaning, look, you doing Yahweh Shemi Hashai's business. You doing the Father's business. You building up the nation of Israel. So it only makes sense to have a counselor. Back in the ancient world, you know who our counselors used to be? Our parents, when we had arranged marriages. Situations like that where the father, so lucky, I'm getting out of breath. Where the father knew that husband's parents, that he want to give his daughter two parents. He's like, look, those are good people right there. That man got a good name. They well off. He could take care of my daughter. My daughter, she know how to do everything. She know how to cook, clean, sew, got her own business. She's well known. He's well known. This would be a good marriage. It's going to be good for Israel. Then they get married. You got to have counsel. Say, hey, if you courting somebody, we looking to get married. We're looking to get married. We want to seek counsel on this because we want to do this the right way in the eyes of the Lord. Let counsel go before every enterprise. You know what? Look, we're going to go to, let's say we're going to go to priest such and such. All right. Let's say we're going to go to priest. I don't know. I'm just use priest Kahan as an example. We're going to go to priest Kahan. We want to get married. But we need counsel in this because we want to make sure we're doing this the right way. All right. So that's how it should be. All right. Just like how in the world they have marriage counseling before you get married. All right. And when you have that counsel, you can find out, is this person really for me? Or is this person just not for me? This person, we're not getting along. And even that person, that counselor could be like, you know what? Y'all might not be right together. Y'all might not be right. You have a mediator there to help the situation. So you as a sister not saying this happens all the time, but some sisters get kind of swindled, especially if sisters don't know anything. You could kind of get manipulated into being married to a man because you don't have a counselor. You can have a brother that say, you better not tell nobody nothing that I said to you. Nothing. You got some sisters that can't even seek counsel. Some sisters could be in emotionally abusive relationships and can't tell nobody because their husband told them not to say anything. You got to be submissive to your husband, like the scriptures say. No, that's why you need to seek counsel. I'm telling y'all, I done seen some crazy stuff. Seek counsel before you get married. Have that mediator. Go to a brother that y'all can trust. If that brother say, I don't want to seek counsel, then maybe you shouldn't talk to him anymore. All right? Just keeping it real. All right? And I wanted to bring out here counsel and receive this Proverbs 19 and 20. Well, let me bring out Sirach 40 and 25 first. Gold and silver make the foot stand sure, but counsel is esteemed above them both. Counsel is esteemed above gold and silver. That's how important counsel is. That's how important counsel is. It's esteemed before gold and silver. Understand, meditate on that. Meditate on how important counsel is. So when you want to get married to somebody, get counsel. When you're thinking about doing anything, let counsel go before every enterprise. All right? Before every action, seek counsel. You're going to end up in an effed up situation if you just moving on your own. You got people, the Most High set up people in Israel to help you. Whether it be you trying to start a business, you got people that's been doing businesses in Israel for years. Talk to somebody that got a business. You want to get married, talk to somebody that you feel like might have a good marriage. You want to have a children, go talk to a doula. Go talk to people. You got people in Israel for a reason. If you want to talk to somebody about marriage, don't go to somebody that's not married. Don't go to somebody that's been married for a year. When you got problems, go to the right people. All right? Being in the truth is not a damn game. Getting married is not a game. Courting is not a game. This is real life decisions. You will really end up hurt if you don't seek counsel. You will really end up in some shitty situations if you rush into do things. All right? It hurts my spirit when I see sisters move without counsel. And it hurts my spirit when sisters ignore counsel. All right? If I give a sister counsel, or if a sister, I know a sister got counsel and she ignored it, I don't want to deal with you no more. You want to know why? Because you're doing what you want to do. You got to seek counsel. And I'm going to read Proverbs 19:20. Hear counsel and receive instruction, that thou mayest be wise in thy latter end. Hear counsel. You hear it and you receive it, meaning you apply it to your life. If somebody tells you, look, sister, this brother, after all you done told me, sister, you might have to move on. You done said a whole bunch of stuff to me about this brother, sister. You might have to move on. All right? You told me that he's, not taking care of his kids, that he put away his other wife, but he's still dealing with her only on Saturdays, but he don't, help her out with the bills for their children. He don't take care of his children. He say you don't wear fringes. You can't wear fringes except for on the Sabbath day. He got a whole bunch of crazy stuff. And you tell me all of this stuff, and I say, look, sis, don't do it. Don't do it. And you go ahead and do it anyway, then you didn't receive that instruction. You didn't apply that instruction. You just did what you wanted to do. Now you're going to end up in a bad situation. Go sit down. Go sit down. You're going to end up in an unfortunate situation. You're going to be a fool in your latter end. You're not going to be wise. All right? And then a lot of sisters, they might feel like, well, it's going to work out. We're going to pray on it. We're going to fast on it. It's going to work out. They told me that it didn't make sense for us to get together, but it's going to work out. Yeah, you being deceived by your own vain opinion. The Most High show you signs. Even when you're in the world, when you're dealing with somebody, like, look, Most High done showed me more than one time that I don't need to be talking to this person until something terrible happens. And there are many devices in a man's heart, nevertheless the counsel of the Lord shall stand. You could have in your mind that it's going to work out, it's going to work out. But the Most High might not want it to work out. Now you're going to be late. Now you're going to sit up there. You're not going to be staying with your husband no more. You're not going to be with your husband no more because the Most High separated you. You tried to force it to be together, but the counsel of Yahweh Shem Yahshua going to stand regardless. All right? When you try to get married, you got to ask yourself, am I ready to submit to this man? Am I, first of all, you got to ask yourself, am I a true daughter of Yahweh Shem Yahshua? Am I applying the law, statutes, and commandments to my everyday life? Am I seeking the kingdom of heaven so all things could be added unto? All right? Being, courting somebody, that means you're ready to be a wife. That means you're ready to be a mother. Are you ready to be a mother? Are you ready to be a wife? Then you shouldn't be courting nobody then. You need to be focusing on the kingdom of Yahweh Shem Yahshua. And that's keeping it real. All right? You want to be somebody's wife. You ask yourself, are you ready to endure the troubles of education? Are you ready to sit there and teach your children? Are you ready to sit there and clean a whole house possibly by yourself? Are you ready to sit there and make sure you got to cook lunch, breakfast, dinner, snacks, wash clothes, be the manager of the house, and possibly even have your own business? Are you ready to do all of that? Can you do all of that? You can do all things through Hamashiach Yahushua, but some people aren't there spiritually ready to do that. It's art. Shoot, I'm not even gonna lie. It's hard for me sometimes. I be trying to hold it down through the spirit, but it's a lot. It's a lot. You gotta ask yourself, are you ready for that? All right? You can't be trying to be somebody's husband. You don't even know how to prepare the Passover meal. You don't even know how to make unleavened bread. How you going to be somebody's wife? You don't even know how to do the Lord's high holy days the right way. You don't even know how to be a daughter of Zion to Yahweh. You don't even know how to be a daughter to your Father in heaven. He told you to get ready for Passover. You don't even know how to do it. You can't even manage to set a tent up for Pentecost. How you going to be somebody's wife? You even submit to the Lord, because you are doing what you want to do, but you want to try to submit to a man. It's not going to work out. It's not going to work out. Okay, let me get the scripture. Oh, I also want to bring out, while you're courting, it's not wise to move in with somebody. All right? If you're courting a man and he say, oh, come and live with me, that's not wise to do. You get jammed up. You're going to get jammed up in the situation. Y'all know how Israel is. Y'all know how we are. Our flesh is weak. You could be sitting down reading the scriptures. Next thing you know, you're sitting there with all your clothes off. Do you wake up like, what happened? Yeah, y'all lay down. Y'all sitting there having a glass of wine. Yeah, y'all lay down with each other. Now you married. Why? Because you stand with the brother. Or you letting the brother stay with you. Now you jammed up and married to somebody that you don't even really know. And now you stuck with them. All right? And that's Matthew 26:41. Watch and pray that ye enter not into temptation. The spirit is indeed willing, but the flesh is weak. Some sisters fall into temptation and their flesh is weak. You end up jumping and marrying somebody that you don't even know. Because you either staying with them, no. All right. And I wanted to read how some sisters feel like, okay, well, I might need a man. And you might have some brothers that say, sisters, you're not going to make it in the last days if you don't have a man. You got to hurry up and get married. What the hell? What scripture is that? That you got to hurry up and rush in to get married with somebody or you're not going to have a man. Don't you trust in Yahweh Shem Yahushai? It's going to be some sisters that don't have a man in these last days. You're going to have some sisters as widows. But the Most High said he was going to deliver the woman with child and the widow. You're going to have sisters that's 17, 15, 16 that could be the only person in their family in the truth. You a child. How you going to marry somebody? How you going to rush and marry somebody? Your dad, even if your dad in the world, your dad not going to have that. You're not going to have you marry a 20-year-old. You think your dad going to give you to a 20-year-old while you 15, 16, 17 and you living in his house? No. Some of us are not going to have a husband when we get to the kingdom. That's just how it's going to be. Now you're going, like the scripture says, Isaiah 4:1, sisters are going to be looking for a husband, but not everybody may not have a husband. If a sister is a widow, she may not have a husband. Judith didn't have a husband. I mean, she did, but he passed away. She was a widow. She didn't get married after that. So, you're going to have righteous women that's not with a man. All right? And I wanted to bring out patience. You got to have patience. Some Israel, that's the thing about Israel. We like patience. We always want now. We always want something now. That's because we in a society where we always get stuff now, whether it be DoorDash, Instacart, Amazon, 2-day delivery, overnight. Israel, we want stuff fast. We just want it. We want it, and we want it when we want it. We don't know patience like our foremothers and forefathers. Like they used to literally wait for mail. We don't got to do that. We wait for somebody to text us. They had patience. They would wait for mail. They would wait for the bus to come. Hours for the bus to come. They had patience. We lack that as a people because of the society that we live in. You don't have to rush, and you don't have to rush and do anything. You don't got to rush and get married to somebody. You have to have patience. And I wanted to read Genesis 29:18. That's a perfect example of patience. So let me go to it. Ooh, this is a long video, but oh well. Let me get to it. Genesis 29:18. Now my back is hurting so bad because this baby done fell asleep on me. And I'm pregnant. Alright, Jacob is a perfect example of having patience. Alright? And you can just read the whole account. Where he literally waited, 14 years? He worked 7 years for Rachel. Hold on, let me get to it. And Jacob loved Rachel and said, I will serve thee 7 years for Rachel, thy younger daughter. So Jacob worked. Our forefather worked. That's an example. He worked to get Rachel. He said, 7 years? Psh, that's nothing. I want this woman. I'm going to work for her. I'm going to work for her. Then when he got Leah, he said, shoot, I still want her. I'm going to work for her. That's an example. He waited. Some sisters say, well, 8 months is enough time. What? It don't matter. You could be proving somebody for years. You could be getting to know somebody from years. That don't mean you got to lay down with them. You don't have to rush and lay down with somebody. And if you're getting pressured to lay down with somebody, look, we need to get married right now or I'm going to move on. Then say, all right then. If that brother can't respect that you're not ready, then move on. The Most High will guide your steps if you're a righteous woman to somebody that actually has patience, that's not trying to lay down with you right away. All right? He sat there and worked for her all that time. How much more did this brother got to work for you? You supposed to be a virtuous woman. You supposed to be worth more than rubies. How about Shimei Hawashi's daughter? You don't never have to have nobody say, well, you better lay down with me right now. So what then? Say, so what then? All right, I don't got to deal with you. Do you know who I am? How about Shimei Hawashi's daughter? We're royalty. You got to remember that. You don't got to rush and do nothing that you don't want to do. Right? Shoot, and that's how Jacob looked at Rachel. He said, this woman is beautiful. This is going to be my wife. And I'm going to work for her. That's the same way you want your husband to do for you. You want your husband to work for you. Not me, Slaki. You don't want your husband to work for you. You want your husband to pretty much, make an effort, to show that he's going to be a provider, that he loves you, that he's going to take care of you, that he's going to take care of your children, that he's going to be, a head to you, a protector, provider. All right? And you should be showing that man, look, I want to be a wife to you. I want to, raise your children, and I want to be an example to your children and, our daughters and our sons. And, it should be like that. It shouldn't just be, I want to just rush and lay down with you. Because I haven't had none in a while. Like, what? You're going to be stuck with that person. Sex is nothing. When you get married, you're not going to be doing it all the time. You're not going to be sitting down, laying down up under each other all the time. The honeymoon phase get over. The honeymoon phase is over. You got to deal with real life. You're always going to have love. In marriages, of course, you're always going to love each other. But you're going to have real life situations where you might not lay down with your husband. You might be pregnant. Anything could happen. It's not, pretty much what I'm saying is that laying down with somebody, that honeymoon phase get over. You ain't gonna always be laying down. Like, you gotta deal with raising kids. You gotta deal with managing bills, keeping your house clean, keeping your yard clean. You're gonna have animals. You're gonna have a whole bunch of stuff. All right. And usually when that honeymoon phase, people be like, this is not the man I thought. Yeah, because the honeymoon phase is over. That's why you got to prove people so you can get to know that person. All right? Because some people, some brothers might sweet talk you. Yeah, I love you. You so beautiful. I'm going to take care of you. This and the third. And then you lay down with them after that. It's not the same. Because you kind of rushed into it. You got to get to know. You got to get to prove this person. It takes more than, I want to say, 5 months, 7 months. Like I said, it could take years while you get to know somebody. Really see who this person is that you about to share a child with, that you about to share your life with. And, I want to bring out Sirach 40 and 19. Children in the building of a city continue a man's name, but a blameless wife is counted above them all. Are you ready to be a blameless wife? That's something that you got to ask yourself. You got to have patience when you're a wife. You can't just always be quick to snap. What's wrong with you? You can go get a tissue. You can't always be quick to snap back at your husband. He could do something. A lot of times men, let's just say that they have helpmates. You can't always be quick to snap at your husband because he didn't put the underwear in the basket, or because he forgot to put the keys where they go, or because he forgot to do something. You can't always snap at your husband. You can't be, What the scripture say, a wise woman builds her own house, but a foolish one plucketh it down with her hands. You gotta build, you gotta know what it means to build your own house. And that means building your husband, because your husband is a head. Your head, you gotta know how to build your husband up. Spiritually, help him spiritually. It's a lot of stuff that comes into being a wife that you have to be ready for. All right? And I also want to bring up 1 Kings chapter 3. That's 50 minutes. Okay. I want to bring up 1 Kings chapter 3. How when Solomon had asked, when he had in a vision, when Solomon had asked, when Yahweh Shem Yahushai asked Solomon pretty much what did he want. What you doing? Put that back. Well, go upstairs and get under your cover. When Solomon said, I pretty much want to know how to judge Israel. I want understanding. He pretty much said he wanted knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. And because he asked for that, he got riches, gold. He got everything. And so as an Israelite woman that's courting, that's single, instead of asking the Most High, Yahweh Shem Yahushai, you please bless me with a righteous husband, won't you ask the Most High for knowledge, wisdom, understanding, so that you have the spirit to discern whether a man is going to be a righteous man or not. And then the Most High will add everything else unto you. That's Matthew 6:33. Seek ye first the kingdom of Yahweh Shem Yahushai, and all his righteousness, and all these things shall be added unto you. Everything was written for our time again. So you see from that account, Solomon asked for understanding. He asked for knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. So as a single sister, you need to be asking the Most High for knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. That's what you need to be doing. Ask him for that knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. So that you have that wisdom to discern, look, this brother not right for me. Look, let me get counsel on the situation. I'm not going to rush into it. Well, the scripture says this, and he's doing that. The scripture says this, and the third. Now I got the understanding to know the type of man that I want in my life. The type of wife I want to be for somebody. So apply these scriptures, sister. Seek counsel. Get to know people. Have patience. Don't be living with no brother and y'all courting. That don't make no sense. Everything has to be done decently and in order. If you got your father in your life, whether your father in the truth or not, let your father meet this man. Let your father get to know this brother. Even when fathers aren't in the truth, but they still in your life, they still got the discernment to say, hey, I don't know, this brother might not be right. You know, you can't just be thinking, oh, you just saying that because you don't understand. You know, some people, your parents still love you. Your parents still care about you. So seek counsel. Don't just rush and don't rush and try to get married to somebody. You can't be trying to court somebody when you're not ready to be a wife. You can't be trying to court somebody that don't even have nothing to take care of you. What y'all got to talk about? What y'all, besides reading the scriptures together, how y'all going to, come on, what's going on? What's going on? You got to ask yourself, am I ready to be a wife? That's what it means when you courting somebody. When you courting somebody, that means you're at that stage in your life where you're ready to be a wife. Where you ready to be a mother. If you're not ready to be a mother, if you're not ready to be that Proverbs and Titus woman to your husband, be submissive to your husband, raise your children. If you're not ready for that in your life, then you shouldn't be even trying to court anybody. You need to be focused on Yahweh Shem Yahushai, asking him for that knowledge, wisdom, understanding. So when you get there in your life, when you are ready, you have the spiritual discernment to go about courting a brother. Sisters, don't feel pressured to get married to a brother because they say you need a sister to lay down. A husband to survive in these last days. Don't feel pressured. All right? Don't just let every man in your house. All right? So hopefully this was a good video. And that's pretty much it. You know, call Yahweh Shem Yahushai for knowledge, wisdom, and understanding on these things, on these topics, because it's a very serious situation. It's very serious. It's not a game. Courting is not a game. And the Most High views everything. He's going to look at your courting. You don't want to be that sister that's courting a whole bunch of brothers. You was just courting one brother in Sons of Thunder. Now you courting a brother in WFI. Now you don't want to court the brother in WFI because you found a brother in IUIC. People are like, what's up with this sister? What's your main focus right now? Well, why are you kind of everywhere? You don't want to be that sister. Because brothers look at that. They be like, she been everywhere. She really want a husband. You don't want to be that sister courting multiple brothers, different, hopping, like what that song Deacon said. You done courted everybody at the unity camp. A brother got something to say about you. You done kissed every brother that you courted. What? You can't be that sister. You don't want to be that sister. You gotta look at yourself as a high value Israelite woman. All right. And that's pretty much it, sisters. Take your time. Ain't no rush. Ain't no rush. What you gonna rush for? All right. Patience. Let patience possess your souls. If you don't got patience, then you gonna rush into a terrible situation. All right. And with that being said, continue to endure in this truth. Ask the Most High for knowledge, wisdom, and understanding on how to move in these last days, and keep enduring. All right. Shalawam.